let that go out for a second. And we will change our screen. Okay, it is that time of day. We will be going to our game dev. Now, the thing that, because when we started this, it wasn't supposed to be like me building a whole game from top to bottom. You know, it was just supposed to be how I would start something should I do it now, as opposed to the way we used to do it. And so I hate the new Discord UI. It's too square. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, please. Okay. Did they change the UI? Maybe I just don't have the latest build. Okay. But as I was saying, is we were putting this together and coming up with ideas. And then I'm like, okay. Then someone said, well, just build it. So let's go to our design page, which we originally had. And I started cleaning it up yesterday. Take our logo down. I started cleaning it up yesterday because I thought, okay, well, let's do some cleanup and then start really organizing it. And then I realized, yes, halfway through yesterday that it's going to be a big pain to do it this way. So what I thought about was this: if I transfer all of the information we have so far into an Excel sheet, just for, and you'll see what I'm talking about here soon in a minute, but just so that we can arrange it and get it all kind of smoothed out, because even though, like when we were doing this section yesterday, is there's more writing in here than for each of the different things. So I thought that it would be better to turn it into an Excel sheet and then go from there. So here's what we're going to do. And I did a couple of them just to see if my theory would even work. But if we did something like this, I'm going to add two of these to the end of every line here. I'm going to do it on all of them. So all the end ones. I thought I grabbed that. Okay, let's grab that. Okay, copy. Okay. We're going to go to the end of every description here, and we're going to add this in there. And you'll see why in a minute, because when we take it into Excel, we want to be able to sort it. And this comes over not as a Excel sheet, but as a CVR. I think that's what they're called, CVS or CVR. CVS is a pharmacy. So what I'm going to do is just let me do these all real quick. Just put this in here, and you'll see why in a minute, because we're going to go into Excel and sort these. And you'll see that this is going to save us a ton of time when it comes to laying things out and just putting things together for the overall. Am I on screen? Yes. Okay, I'm on screen. Okay. Yeah. So we're putting those in. We're going to do that for all of these things. And what I'm doing them on is the very last thing for each section. So here's Granddad, and then the last thing. So it's the whole goal being to get it at the end of what the description is for that particular thing. So if you look here, I would go here, then it would be there. Yeah, that's off screen, sorry. Let's try to keep things on screen. That one, and that one, and that one. A couple more. And then I'm going to show you in Excel why this is going to help us out immensely. Come here and sit a while and listen. Because we're getting more serious about it, I need to put it in a more, not just throwing things at the wall format. And that's kind of what we're doing here. So we've got all these now with those at the end. So if I go to the save, let me go up here. Oh, it's centered on that. Let me pull this down. Come on. Give me the page. Thank you. Pull that down. Okay, so if we go here and we go um, here, edit, now board, export as. We have several things, but what I'm going to export as is a CSV. And then we're going to open that CSV. So I'm going to have to like open a new window. So let's open that. So what we get, let me do a, let's use this one. No, that won't work. We need just one of these. Let's grab this. Windows capture. No, not Windows. We need, no, I think that'll do it. Let's see if this is correct. Excel, yes. Game test. Is that it? Yeah, I think that. Okay. So when it comes into Excel, it looks like this, which is not good for us at all. You know, so if I come over here and I make that there and I say wrap, all of our stuff, we got to click everything and then do a wrap. All of our stuff is all conglomerated together into a mess. So, but because we put our little bars in there, what we can do is we can come to a new screen here, put that in the first one, and then we can do this, is we can say data, you know, text, text to columns, and then go next, and then put in our bar like we have here. And then it will break it all into separate, separate columns. So if we do go back to home and say wrap, and then unwrap, and then do a one size fits all type thing, boop, and move them all to the top, all on top. Then you get this. And what we can do now, and this is really cool, is it took us just a couple seconds to put this together. We have all these guys. Take them, come back to the front here, and then put them here. We can put them there and rotate them. So now we have everything broken into the columns that they were in for each grandparent. So what we can do there is we can say, we can make a final sheet, and we'll call this family crypt. And forgive if I spell it wrong, but this would be, we put that there. Do our wraps already on, so we'll do there. We'll do that, so we'll make it all happy. Okay, so, but we can do that with each of the sections now, and then build out a spreadsheet for each of the things that we're building. So, and it will also give us, like, now we have a spreadsheet just for the family crypt. And we would go in and like go back to the beginning here, and we would grab the next set, you know, and sometimes I think it might even work here, is if we paste it in here, the command we did first will do it again, and it did not. Okay. So sometimes you get lucky and Excel goes, oh, let me do that again for you. But if we do that for each section, number one, we don't have to go in and cut and paste it all out, because that's just going to be a pain in the ass. But did it do what I just wanted it to do? No, it did not. Where's our top line? Come on. Line 1, where are you? That's weird. Okay, well, let's do this then. Let's just delete all of this. I don't know where line 1 went. I've never seen Excel actually delete a line. So let's go back here a minute. Okay. 4. Here's 1. Let's just delete everything. That's odd. Okay, no big deal. Go delete. We have all of our lines. We go back. Oh, wait, no, we did the wrong one. See, and this is why Jordan Ray is not allowed to do things, because Jordan Ray makes mistakes. Go back. We have to keep going until that says grandfather. There, that's what we wanted. Okay, so let's go back to this sheet. This is a sheet that we should have been able to get line 1, but okay, line 1 is back. Okay, now if we go and grab this, copy that, paste it in 1, and then do our data select text. Nope, not fixed. Back, eliminated, and that finish. Then go and grab them all there to there. And do a copy. Then we can come into our family crypt on the second line here and put them there in the. Okay, well, nope, it's not going to let us. We're going to do it this way. We're going to come back here again. Copy them. Oh, because we didn't hit copy, did we? Copy that. Come here and paste it. Turned. Copy it again. Bring it over here. And then we can put it here. And it will line up with everything else. So now we can, if we look at it as a little bit bigger here, and we say both of these the same size, we'll say about that big. Both of them are then, we'll then make all of them the get happies. Okay, so now you can see where it starts to line up perfectly. We'll just make these top heavy or top aligned. And then do that. But now as in our situation where we were trying to line them up in Miro, if we go back to Miro here. Okay, boop, boop, boop. Design page. No, we need a design page. I thought that's what we had up. It was, but our new page is in the way. That is what our problem is. So if we see here where everything was lining up off center, you know, or off each other, is we can build the whole thing again in Excel and line it all up. So now it's actually lined up in our Excel page to that particular format. So you can see it like lines up. So when we put the bigger ones in, it'll do the same thing. And then we can go through and put in fact, we could just grab it from here, as we can grab these up down here and grab these, which are the names of each one, and then just drop them in our family crypt one like that. And then just move them down, come down here and say, okay, you come with me. But it gives us the opportunity to clean it up quite a bit. We'll take these off of wrap. Okay. Turn the wrap off, did we not? Yeah, good. Wrap on, wrap off the wrapper. Okay, so bring her down. And I grabbed the wrong one. No, I didn't. Okay, good. She does go to that one. And he goes to this one. Yeah, see, so we can line them all up, and it just makes it a little bit easier for us as a, and it looks more like a design doc as opposed to just a bunch of stuff thrown on the wall. But we will clean that up. So the goal, okay, that one's correct. This one needs to go down. Did we miss one? Yeah, that one's that one, 2, 3. Okay, so this one should be on that. Oh, that's what I did wrong. Okay, see. So now if we make those top aligned as well, and then it means that it goes to that. So now we're starting to line them all up together in a much cleaner fashion. And there'll be some things that we have to update if I didn't put the slashes in the right place or stuff like that. All mistakes normally we don't have a notice. Yeah, that's true. You know, we all make mistakes. You know, and it's even like sometimes you don't realize you make a mistake till later. Because like when you're talking for, like in my particular case, if we're talking for this for 2 hours, I'm going to misspeak things sometimes or do silly things like that. Not intentionally and not as a course of, okay, I'm screwing this up on purpose type thing. You know, it just happens. Sometimes you misspeak, and you know, so please don't hold it against me in the future. Don't come back and go, well, you said blah 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 blah. I go, I may have, I agree. Not what I meant. You know, so we just do that for these other sections. And I'll show you as soon as we get this done, I'm going to copy it into a file. I'm going to show you something cool because we're not done with Miro yet, but we do have some advantages of going into Excel and doing this way. And I will show you that here as soon as I get all the columns put together for this. Is although Miro doesn't exit into Excel in a nice, clean way, Excel goes into Miro very nicely. So if I do this right, which I hope I do, it's going to be pretty cool. Okay, so here's our next sets. And as you can see, now we don't have to worry about lining it up. We just put it in the first one and boom, boom, lines up. Lines up perfectly. So let's get the third, fourth one. Copy. Oh, we forgot to delete all this. Delete. Go back to this and copy it again. Back to here. And put it in there. And then data, chop it up. And go to there and go next. Still on that, so we're all good. Finished, blah, blah, blah. So copy. Go back down here. So that is how you build your Miro documents so that they all lined up together. So let's make all of these the same size. Oop. Okay. Let's take the middle ones. Oh, I didn't give myself a middle one, so let's take this one away. Delete. Okay, so here's all the same information, but in a nice little spreadsheet. It lines up per character. So if we move down, it's not all off center like it was in the Miro board. So in the Miro board, it's all like this, and it's kind of a mess, you know. So, but if I do this right, so let's do this. We're going to copy this, all of this, copy all of these, and we're going to open a new Miro board. We're going to do that. We're going to call it Family Crypt. Just for the sake of calling it that. And then we're going to save it as Family Crypt. And we're going to put it in the PC crypt. Crypt test. And let's put it not in our documents file, but we'll put it in our game dev file. We'll just call it crypt text. And we'll say save. Now, if I do this correctly, I don't think I need to make a new board, but I can do an import. A comment. Snap to grid. Nope. Where is the import? It might be up here. Manage, find board. New board, duplicate, export, move to stand. Actually, I don't even think I have to do that, do I? I'm going to try something. I don't know if it's going to work. Okay, so let's go here. Show game dev. Excel file. Where did the Excel file go? I could have sworn I put it in this directory. So now it's fighting with me. It's saying, no, 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 no. Script, show, graphics. Oh, put it in the wrong game dev directory. Go back to here. And go back to there. Then go to game dev and save it there as an Excel file. That's where we want it. Okay. Now let's try this. Can I just grab it and move it? No, we don't want to move it. We want to just want to drop it. Well, we have it, so let's see what happens. I did not take it all. Let's go back here. Let me save this. Because there is a way to import it and bring it into here, and it actually builds all the stuff for it. So that's what I'm trying to do. And for the life of me, I can't remember how to do it. Duplicate, export, no. Move to, no. Background color, no. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. Saves my eyes. Edit. Do. Over here. That doesn't do anything. No. Nope. Oh, I think I think I did too many wrong things and Miro's just thrown me out. Come on. Thank you. Okay. I do like the darker background better. It really saves my eyes. There is an import here somewhere. Tools, okay. Media. Okay, I am not seeing it. Formats. Good. No input. No inputs unless I'm just not seeing it, which is highly possible. Okay, I'll have to figure that one out later. But it is a good way to structure your data, because you can go in and build tabs for all of your Excel stuff. Unless your Excel is open, it will not show it. But so you can build tabs for all of your sections and stuff like that. And now that's not working. Okay. Oh, because we're looking at the wrong one. But that one. Yep. So you can build tabs for all of your different things and your different sections, and then do all of your layouts for them, all your data and things like that you can put in here. You can also put, since with this particular case, it's really small, sorry. This particular case, we did all of our write-ups that we did for the original stuff that we worked on. And now it's, although Excel is a lot more difficult to deal with in this program. So let's pull this over here. So now we have the granddad's name, we have his abilities and wisdom, and we can put titles on it and all that other stuff, so that when we start building stuff later, it is completely covered and happy. And so it is. Now, just got back from the doctors. Is this script writing? No, this is not script writing. This is just creating data tables for your stuff. So all the things that we created in Miro, we're going to have to get into a into a cohesive document so that we can start planning things out more structure and stuff like that. Because right now with the Miro board, it was what we were doing. We was just throwing everything at the board, and we did that very, very well. But now we want to start actually getting into the nitty gritty. So what I was doing was I was showing that you can take, like in the case of here, which is our family crypt, and you can take all of this information and convert it into an Excel sheet directly from Miro, and the things that you can do, because there's settings and stuff like that that you can set to divide all this stuff up and make it all kind of work with your Excel sheet. So we had built we've built the Excel sheet, which is here for the crypt. Let me see if I can zoom out on that a bit. And it has all the same information with the crypt, except for it's all lined up with everything in mind. Now there is a way, and I still have to do some research on it because I thought it was just a quick import thing, but there is a way to take this. Let me try something else. Let me do this. We're going to do a quick test. I'm going to grab this like this. I'm going to see what happens if I just copy it, go to Miro, go to an open spot, and just dump it. Ah, paste as table. Boom. So did it bring everything in? It did not. What did it do? Abilities, granddads, yeah. Where's the rest of it? No, it didn't do it right. Oh, wait, no, it did. Okay. So if we go, I don't seem to have control over the table. Yeah, you don't have the ability to make that bigger. I've never used this in Miro, so sorry about that. Go to Canvas. But it does look like everything's there. You just can't read it because it doesn't open it all up. What happens if I do this? What is this? Does this expand? No. Expand is what we're looking for. Change layout, filters. No, that's just takes it to full screen. I need something that says expand. Nope. Okay, we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. That just adds there, that adds there. Filter, change layout. Timeline? What happens there? Oh, yeah, that makes a mess of it, doesn't it? Groups. Column 1. Let's look at column 1. Grandfather? Okay. No, this actually works out well. Yeah. So it gets a little bit cleaner. I just need to figure out in Miro how to expand it. So this will replace this whole thing over here. I'm on the wrong screen, aren't I? Yes, I am. I apologize, guys. I'm back on Miro, and I've brought this in as a table. You can bring it in as a table. And then it does have all the data in it. But I just need to figure out how to expand those because there's no, there is no thing there for expanding. Let's get rid of that. But expandable here. And it's sort up. There's no expand. Yeah, so because we can't open this except for clicking on it, you know, we do have to name the columns and stuff like that because we haven't done that, hasn't been done. But there doesn't seem to be an expand anywhere, so that's oh, but you can turn them all off. I haven't used this before, so this particular setting in this before, but I can see some use for it because we can go in and say, okay, what was great granddad's lion's roar? Okay. And then we can click on it and say, okay, here's his abilities. It's a little bit cleaner, and it takes away from having this on the screen the whole time, this other stuff over here. So all of this in this gray box is now replaced by something like this, which is a tag cleaner. We can go in and edit it and do things. I don't know why it keeps adding stuff at the bottom, but yeah, interesting. Awesome. Just got back from the doctor. Okay. No my mistakes. Yep. Ads should be finished. Oh, I talked that right through the ads, didn't I? Okay, so that's the kind of cleanup we can do. If we look at, go back to the original Excel file, we'll look at the bottom ones, because I think those are going to be quite a bit messier. Let's change this to turn this on and turn that on to the other one. Want this one here, I believe. And then we will go back to this mess over here in the front. Nope, it did not go back, so we're on the wrong one over here. This one? No. This one? Yes. Yeah, so we've managed to take these 4 boxes, and we'll just color them so we know that they're done. We'll make them gray. That one, that one, that one, and that one, which are biggest tech boxes. And we took these titles and put them in place. They're just not in order. We'll go and fix the order later. Now we have the village, which is, this is the thing for the village, and we can pull all the names and stuff out of here. That's actually pretty easy, since we can just grab all the stuff from the village. Bump, 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 sweep up all of that. Okay, so, and we can clean all this up. So we can do, oh, I know what we can do. We can do this. We can go F5. Let's just copy it into another form so we don't mess things completely up. So we have the fountain in the village. Okay, let's go from here to, okay, village fires, blah, 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 bakery. We'll go to here, because this is all the descriptions of the stuff that you can do in the village. We'll put them up, see, put them here, do an F5, grab all the blank ones and say, okay, and take them all out, move everything up. And then we're going to use conditional formatting to find duplicates. I don't think there will be any, but we'll find them anyway. Make them red. Yeah, so no red ones. We can do this though. We can go all of the, find all that have a frame in that place. We just want to find frame. Find all. These are all of the ones that say frame. That's all the things we want to do. Let's see what happens if we do this. I don't remember if you can do it this way, but let's do it this way. And it does not. But if we go over here now and we say delete, and we say move up, that takes those out. So our list is getting smaller. And the whole point is just to get our list, you know, so we can take village out, build out, building out, shopkeepers, we need things to do. So we have our top, this, things to do, take a loop, wrap off, trouble, things we can do to make trouble. Then we can just start going. Okay, bakery. Unfortunately, they're not normal, because we could do a thing like this, as I think it's called equals wrap. What is it called again? Wrap rows. Usually you can do this, and you can go, okay, so if these were evenly numbered. Like if they were every shop had 3 rows of things on it, which they don't, but we're gonna go with that idea right now, as we can say in here. We want it to break it up into rows of 3 or columns of 3, and then am I doing this right? I think I'm doing this right. And then /0. I think this is right. I may be doing it wrong and it'll complain, but oh, okay. See, so what this did was it took everything here and for every 3 rows, it put something in here. So it's just now a sorting task. But if we had put it in in our data that everyone had 3 rows with something in it, then it would have sorted correctly. So yeah, and that is very small on the screen. Sorry guys, I didn't realize it was that small on the screen. Please remember, I am still new at this, and I forget to look up. So, yeah. Silver Shadow. Welcome. That should be finished. And I talk through ads again. Let me move this down so it's not in the way of those things that it's not supposed to be in the way of. Okay, that's better. So yeah, so what we did was basically just take this list here and custom sort it by row into this here. So now we can do a much better cleanup. So we have our baker, an apothecary, grumpy cook. You know, this is clean glasses. So this would be things to do. Clean tables, that's a thing to do. So we'll be fixing that. We'll take these guys and move them down here. So, oops, why did that not move? Come here. Now you come with me. What is going on? Oh, because it's not a, okay. And you got to pick this up because it's stupid. And move it over here. And turn it back into something that you can actually edit and play with. Okay. But we can set up our, in the future, we can set up our Miro data in a better way so that it works. But we can do this now. So we do this, we can move this over here. That's a thing to do. Shovel coal is thing to do. Blacksmith is obviously a guy that goes here. But to me, it's easier to do this way than to do it in a column alone. Bellboy is a person, so he is the shopkeepers. Stable boy, woodworker, tailor. These guys all go up here. Okay, so we can delete them down here. Doop, 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 doop. These are buildings. Blacksmith goes over here. Mm-hmm. She goes over here. Stable master goes over here. Barber, potter, mayor. These guys all go over here. Okay, sweep temple, blah, blah, blah. High level weapons tools, we'll put that over here. Boarding house is a place. Yeah, so we forgot to put our places in. Grocer. Stock shelves, waitress. Okay. So yeah, so there's easier ways to do this, but eventually you're going to have to do it. And you're going to have to, how can it be ads already? It just said ads were done. I couldn't see it even with my bad eyes. Glad you looked up. Yeah, I need to do that more. I am so sorry. I get concentrated on what I'm doing, and then I forget to look up and see what everybody's talking about. Just got back from Doctor. This script writing. No, it's not at this time. No, it's just organizing. We will be doing a lot more of that kind of thing coming up. But I thought it was going to be easier to make this, clean this up. So what I might do, just to save us time, and because this is part of the extremely mundane part of game making, is sorting your data is huge. But it also takes forever, and there's things that we can do to make them a little bit easier. So if we go back to our, I keep forgetting that we are in, we go back to our Miro board, which is this here. Go back here. And somehow I keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller on the screen for you guys, and bigger and bigger and bigger on the screen here. So if we go back here and look at these, we can set this data up that we have here that we're actually sorted through now to where it makes more sense. And even if we put dummy pieces in here, that's okay, because then we can use the wrap sort thing to clean it up in Excel, because I've obviously left it a mess. So we can actually continue today with working on this over here in Miro, so that we're cleaning it up, and with thought to what we're going to put it in on the other side. So, but we might want to use our double dash thing on everything, so that when we bring it in, we can cut things up that way. So like if we go in here now, we grab Granddad's hut and put it up here, the training thing up here, Nick, trying to organize things a little bit better before we convert them over. Then we make, and these are all 2-to-1s, so I think it'll do them in order. And then we can go back here and we can put bandits on our list. We can put animals, which we can trap. Put this way. Let's disconnect that. Put them together like that, and say, make that the animals for animals. So organization and cleaning up is what you're going to be doing a lot of, because you're going to be making things fast and then looking behind you going, oh shit, I didn't document that. And someone somewhere, there's going to be a producer somewhere that's going to say, why didn't you document that? And you're not going to have an answer. And they're not going to like that, you not having an answer. Oh, animals, animal. Animal, leave it that way. Oh. Okay. Let's make a new one. Oops. Let's see. Actually want that. Logs and trees. Big trees, little trees. Trees that grow on rocks. Even trees like chicken pox, like hot dogs. Plants. And just so you guys know, this part here is the part I hate the most about game dev is documentation. It is the part that just makes me cringe every time someone says, okay, you got to document that. It is not a friendly thing. And I cannot emphasize more how bad it is. What we're going to do is, I think that the fish, we're going to not just make them in the forest, but this is going to be in all the rivers as well as the ponds and stuff like that, because we do have ponds and rivers inside the in the village. But I think that it'd be good to have that. I haven't many folks in IT that like the documentations. Yeah, it sucks. Documentation sucks, but here is the bright side of it. The better you document what you're doing and how you do it, the easier it's going to be for someone who comes along to fix it, to figure out what you did and how it can be fixed. And a lot of people use this as an example. Oh, I'm going to hide how I do things. That way I'm creating myself job security for myself. You're not. What you're creating is you're just creating a big pain in the ass where people are going to get mad at you all the time and start saying things to you like, how did you do this? Just tell me how you did it. You know, I was guilty of this many times, and Brandon Vanderpool can attest to this. Is there were many times when I didn't necessarily hide information, but I didn't necessarily share it either. And that was a bad thing. Is on your brown list. Okay. So one of the things that I made the mistake of when we started this was I didn't start a documentation route. I didn't do the documentation as we worked. Therefore, I have to go and do it all after, which is just a big pain because there might be nuances and stuff like that I thought of in the time that we were putting this together that I'm not going to remember. Why are you programming when O3 will replace 98.2% of the programmers? Well, let me put it this way. It's great that we're advancing and we're learning and we're teaching machines to do some of the things we do. But there may come a time when these AIs and all this stuff fail. And somebody's got to know how to fix it. So learning to program and stuff like that is not a losing thing. Learning to draw and stuff like that is still not a losing thing. Because there's going to be many opportunities when these newfangled, that's right, I use newfangled, when these new ways of doing things may not be there. You know, 1 EM pulse, and guess what? We're back to pencils and paper. Yes. That's like learning to ride horses to fix cars. No, it's not. It's like learning to ride a horse because your car is broken and you don't know how to fix it. That is what it's like. Because it won't. Yeah. You are learning to ride horses because your car may someday break and you may not know how to fix it. Yeah, losing skills and time is never a good thing. You know, we have computers that can build computers, but do we still have an IT team? Yes, we absolutely do. You know? I've watched a streamer using an AI to program. He always says that the AI is a great to help, but once it makes a mistake, it just makes it bigger. That is true. You know, in fact, I have used ChatGPT when I'm writing some things in Python when I was first learning Python. And guess what? It made a hell of a lot of mistakes. You know, but even when I said, okay, I made a copy of all the code I was working on, gave it to it and said, here's the problem I'm having. How do I fix it? It couldn't figure it out. but what it ended up being was there was one line that I put in the wrong place and I had to find it. But yeah, I mean, do those things have its place? Yes. AI, all those tools, yes, 100%. Use them. However, I really like the fact that if those go away, I know how to do things. I know how to do some programming. I know how to do art. I know how to do these things. But then again, I was a plumber for 9 years, so I know how to fix faucets. I know how to fix plumbing. I was a security guard for a time. I know how to protect people. There's a lot of things that we know that we should know. You should know how to fix everything in your house. You should know how to make minor repairs on your car. These are things that you just should know. So yes, but does AI and all those things have its place? Yes. Have I used them in the past as a tool? Yes, because that's what they are. They are a tool. And sometimes tools are wrong. AI is barely helpful. It's as far from replacing. Yeah, it's not going to replace programmers. Not for a long time yet. Yeah, because there's an amount of critical thinking that we humans are usually pretty good at. I mean, not lately, if you look at the world, but critical thinking is a thing that they don't have yet. They can follow a line and do that and get you to a spot, but you need to look at the path they took. Sometimes it's not optimal for what you're trying to do. I don't want to go. Okay. My dad knows all that. I don't know what I'm going to do without him. Well, that's a very interesting point. People, I mean, I remember the first day we started like playing with the game design. A guy came in and just made a whole bunch of comments about, "You're old. Why are you even on here?" Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. You're gonna have to deal with the old people eventually, because it's where we've reached a point to where my generation, we had to teach our grandparents how to program the VCR. We're coming to a point to where we have to now, the same generation, my generation, has to teach the grandchildren, should something happen, have to teach the grandchildren how to take care of their house, how to do plumbing, how to do things, how to fix things around the house. They just don't know because it's not part of their day to day. In the old days, we had to fix things. Your Joy, this is going to be a 2-part thing. So for part 1, how much has the industry advanced over your time within it? Oh, geez. You have to remember, when I started, everyone did not have the internet. We were making Super Nintendo games and cartridge games and stuff like that. The internet was still new. The internet was still a baby. From pen and paper to AI, yeah. That's another thing is I'll use your example, Silver Shadow, as an example. Pen and paper. Some people are not being taught how to write or read cursive anymore. And I don't understand that, because I can write cursive. I went through hell learning it, but I can write it, but they don't teach it anymore. So everybody just prints stuff. So that's bothersome. So what's going to happen when you go to read something someone wrote a long time ago that's written in cursive? Yeah, I could get by and get rid of cursive. Yes and no. Some old stuff is written in cursive, and some of that old stuff is actually pretty good. I remember before I was 9, before I got my eyesight, I remember I had a teacher that used to read books to us. So she wrote books like The K and those kind of books. It was when I lived on Balboa Peninsula in Newport Beach. It was when I was in elementary school. Because I was blind, I was in a special class, and the teacher would read us books. And she read us a book. Let's see, what you need an archaeologist to read the ruins. Yes, but if nobody knows cursive, your new archaeologist won't be able to read them. If we don't teach cursive, then new archaeologists will not know how to read cursive. So, but she read us this book once, and it was a book. She read us things like the Stone Soup, things like that, which was interesting book, about people helping each other. Then she read us this book, and I don't remember the name of it, but it was about an Indian tribe and how when their elders got too old, they would take them out in the forest and leave them, and then come back. And there was in the story there was a family that hid their grandfather in the back hid their grandfather, so they didn't want to take him out to the forest because they kind of liked him, for whatever reason. I don't remember why they hid him, but they hid him so that the villagers wouldn't take him out in the forest. And everything was going along fine. Everything was working, but then there was a famine, and everybody in the village was starving to death, and nobody knew what to do. And the little boy went to his grandfather and said, who was hidden, and said, I don't know what to do. We don't have, all the seeds are gone. We can't plant anything. We're starving to death. What do we do? And the grandfather told him, go up on the roof of the house that they were in, or hutch or whatever it was, or teepee with thatching on it or whatever it was. He goes, take the thatching off and pound the thatching out, and you'll find seeds that you can use for the harvest, or for the growing of grains and stuff. So he went and did that, and and saved the village and all that stuff, is because the old man had knowledge that nobody would have known, that nobody knew of. Stone Soup. Yeah, that brings back memories. Yeah. But is anyone learning how to punch cards now? No, because the computer does it for you. But there are still places in the world where you go in and you have to you literally pull your card out, you punch it, and then you put it back in for your timekeeping for work. That hasn't gone away. It's just not in your area. I'm sorry, but LAMs are going to replace programmers. Maybe. But it doesn't mean you don't need programmers. So the internet was literally not invented. No, it was invented. It just wasn't public. It wasn't as public as it is now. You were working with cartridges, yes. And the NAS, yes, for example, could support up to 1 meg. Yeah. Nowadays, we're far beyond that. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I remember when we started at Silicon and Synapse, when I was there, we didn't even have an internal internet. So we didn't even have the ability to save things and copy them. We had to literally take disks, copy the art onto the disk, take the disk out, take it over to the programmer. He would put it in his computer and copy it to his computer so that he could add it to the game. We didn't have a internal LAN or any of that stuff. That didn't come for a couple more years. Without programmers, there's no innovation. True. And AI can write something that existed before really, really quickly. But they need a long way to go before they're perfect. And a human sometimes needs to look over that stuff. But yeah, before I remember when we first got the first internal network, and we had, this is so funny. We had 4 gigs of RAM, or 4 gigs of space on the internal network at Blizzard. 4 gigs. We thought that was just amazing. Oh my God, we have 4 gigs. Yeah, because nothing had something that big, I remember when I first got my first 16 megs of RAM for rendering on my 486 computer for Warcraft 1. And I remember when we had our 4 gigs, and I was rendering the cinematics for Warcraft 1. And I remember Mike coming to me and complaining because the memory needed for the images for the intros and the cinematics for Warcraft 1 took up 2.5 gigs of our 4 gig network space that they paid astronomical amounts for. You can't even write something that exists without you having to debug it 4 hours later. Sometimes, but it will grow. I mean, the internet wasn't perfect at first either. Nothing's perfect at first. I mean, I think that Kareem has a point, but I don't think we're to the point to where he thinks we are yet when it comes to AI. That is what I would say. Will someday they build an AI that's probably using quantum computing and stuff like that is phenomenal and blah, 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 and can do all that stuff? Yes. Are they there yet? No. I don't think so. I don't think they're there yet. I could be wrong. I'm not going out and investigating this to 1,000 degrees. Our first computer, one meg RAM, yes. It was $1,000 to upgrade to 2 megs. Yeah, it wasn't cheap stuff. I remember the first time we went to CES and someone had taken and built a case and put I think it was 4 gigs of RAM in there just to make 4 gigs of RAM, and it was like just astonished us. Let's say we're 5 years away from flying cars. We've been 5 years away from flying cars since 1935's World's Fair. They promised us flying cars in 1935's World Fair, and we're almost 100 years later. I don't have a freaking flying car. So you get me my flying car, and I'll be more than happy to say we're all good. I'm off by 30 years. No worries. Yeah, the flying car was announced in the 1935 New York World's Fair, I believe. I could be wrong, but someone please correct me if I'm wrong. But that is my belief, because I remember that Twilight Zone actually had it in one of the episodes. $1,000 back in the day was more than now due to inflation. Absolutely. Back to the Future also promised us flying cars. Yes, they did. And Back to the Future was 1995 to 2015, I think it was. No. Yeah. I think they went to 2015. So yeah, they're all wrong. Promises made, promises not kept. That's all I'm saying. Someone owes me a flying car. We got off on a tangent here. But yeah, I think that AI as a tool is absolutely awesome. AI as in fully replacing humans at certain things like programming and art and stuff like that. We're not there yet. And a flying skateboard. Yeah, someone owes us flying skateboards. But flying skateboards weren't promised till Back to the Future came out. They didn't promise us that in 1935. So you're a good 100 years away from your flying skateboard. Sorry, Uncle Great Unclean. Why do I keep wanting to say Uncle? I see your name when I glance up, and I keep thinking Uncle, because it's Great Uncle Ent 1. Uncle N1. Also, because I did watch Man from Uncle last night, so that may be part of it as well. And it was funny because in the episode of Man from Uncle I watched last night, Agent 99 from Get Smart was Agent 23 in Man from Uncle. I thought that was kind of funny. So when she was with Uncle, she was 23. When she became a control agent, she became 99. Also, I think the Game Maker is programming in a different... Yeah, it's a completely different format. I think that it's... and I'm going to get hell for this, but I think it's more Java than it is C++, but I could be wrong. But there's also elements of it where it just completely reminds me of Python, which makes it easy for me to understand what they're trying to do. Because I know that they've added procedures now and stuff like that to Game Maker, because I saw it when I was reviewing the new Great Unclean. Oh, thank you very much for the sub. That's awesome. Thank you for the 3-month sub. Great Unclean, not Great Uncle-Een. Resubbing. Can't deal with those pesky ads. Sorry. Yeah, they do come up, but I don't know. And more taxes. What? Okay, that's something else. Did lose the meeting, but I made it for a bit of stream today. Cool. So yeah, I don't think that we're to the point where AI is going to take over everything. And you know what? You should still learn programming no matter what. You know, as I was saying yesterday, the more things you know, the better off you're going to be. Because when it comes to like layoffs and stuff like that in the industry, from my experience, it's usually the people that only do one thing that get laid off first. If you can do multiple things, like if you can do art, but you can do 2D art, but you can also do 3D art. If you can do 3D art, but you can also do some scripting, programming, you know, things like that, then they're gonna companies are gonna keep you around more because your value is more, because you can do more things for them without having to buy it or get a new person. Unclean, great uncle Ann. Anything works. Great uncle Ann. like that. I honestly feel an intro to programming is a required as a basic English or your native language of choice classes are. I can kind of see what you're saying there. Yeah. It's just good to know. It's just good to understand just the basics of how it works. Because yes, when you're writing code, your mindset and the way you think is completely different than your day-to-day mindset. And you need that. You know, you need those different kinds of ways of looking at things or different perceptions of reality. When you're coding, your reality is based on X. When you're in real life, your reality is based on Y, et cetera, et cetera. And then that goes through to different things. So the more you know, the better it is. It's just like learning different languages is your, when you think in language X, say English, you think a very specific way. If you know, say, German, the German way of thinking is structured differently, but the language is based on that structure. So you cannot think like you do in English when you're talking or listening to German. The structures are different, which makes your brain actually more malleable and more adaptive to new things coming in. Okay. Okay, well, show me stats. Show me what makes them better. Okay. Same with Fusion. As soon as someone had the first test set up working, people were like, free energy tomorrow. Nope. Yeah. Just because something's invented doesn't mean they're going to let everybody have it. It just doesn't work that way. Okay, back to this. I'm sorry, I got in a tangent. We're still cleaning things up. So yeah, right now I'm just trying to make everything kind of a little bit cleaner. And that's fine. But there's some promising stuff for turning. Let me see if I can get this both on the screen. Turning something like this. Let me see if I can. Okay, yeah, you guys can see it. Okay. Turning something like this over here, this, into something like this, which is a little bit cleaner if we're going to do it this way. Because we can then do pull downs. It'd be kind of cool if each of these was a pull down as well, but it doesn't look like. Miro, it would be really, really good if you could like do something where we could expand these. You know, expanding these would be really good. Yeah, so we can, it's just, no. Sort ascending, no. No, we just want to expand them. Because we can expand them by clicking on them, but it doesn't give us everything. There's some stuff missing from it, but we will work it out. There's some special characters in there I didn't know what to do with. But right now, I think it's important to pull all the stuff into an Excel sheet, like we started to do over here, and then work with that Excel sheet going forward for what's going on. So like this is, oh damn, come on. Let's see, it is not coming up on the screen correctly. It did not move. It is on the wrong screen. What is this one called? Is the one? Nope. That's it. Okay. So, but cleaning something up in this way where everything's in line, and we can put dividers in it, and we can make it pretty. Making things pretty is easy because you can just do things like this where you're like, okay, let's just go ahead and this is my go-to color. And we can just do things like this where we're separating them out. So they're just easier to jump to when it's time to start using them. We put our titles up here. Puts this stuff all in here. There, so now our grandparents, our crypt is in a little bit better spot. And we can do things like this. We'll go insert. There. So now we have it broken up, and we can go even further than this because we can make all of these windows here that have the name. And this is just for cleanup purposes. We can do that, put them in the middle. We can make them a little bit darker color. We can make them like, say that. How we can do this? Do that, make them bold and a little bit, we'll put them at like 12 or 13 and put them like that. And then there you go. Now, let's make that bigger. Now we know that these are the things that go with these things. We got our things, and then we can do some outlining. Let's do that. There. And then if we put titles up and stuff like that up at the top, then it's a little bit cleaner. But you can see how cleaning that up in this way, now we can actually, we have a little bit more control about just going in and just grabbing things. Because doing it over in Miro is kind of a pain. Because it was just for, like I said, that's just for throwing things against the wall. So there we go. We had over here. Oh, we still got lots of time. Let's see where we at with you guys up here. One thing I learned about AI, under the actual laws, you can't copyright anything it does. Well, I don't think that's entirely true. Tomorrow, the day that never comes. Tomorrow, that day that never comes. Yes. Wow, little packages. We asked that question a long, long time ago. That was like a good hour ago. It's fine. I'm sure they'll finish anything all together. We'll have the cure for cancer come down in a fusion powered flying car that got the AI from Knight Rider piloting it. 2028 will be that year, your joy. 2028. Do you know how old I'll be in 2028? Almost, I'm like, let's see. I'll be 67 in 2028. I love Knight Rider. Great show. I'd take a hoverboard. Yes. I would try to ride it because the little wheel ones, I mean, those are just death. You know, I'm not used to riding skateboards forward to backwards. You have to, I was born in Southern California and raised in Southern California. Skateboards are our thing. And the hoverboards with the wheels are not right. You need to make better ones. I'll be 41 in 28. Awesome. Do you mean the old Knight Rider? right? Yeah, the old one. The new one, I don't even think I've seen the new one, but I know that they tried to remake it. Just like they tried to remake MacGyver, which I'm like, really? I don't think it lasted long. In fact, I don't think the new MacGyver lasted long at all. There's a new one. Okay. Yeah, I think there was. I think there was a new Knight Rider. I don't think it lasted very long. There's the 82. Yeah, there was a 2008 one. There was a 2008 Knight Rider. It looks like there were several attempts. There was a 2019 one. Interesting. Now, the 2008 one, let me see if we got a picture here. What does the car look like? That's the most important part of that. Who was in it? Justin Bruning? Paul Campbell, I don't. Smith Chow? Bruce Davidson was in it. He's been in a lot of things. He was the one that turned to jelly in X-Men. He's the guy that turned to jelly in X-Men, the senator guy whose son had wings. Yeah, how long? How many episodes? There was 18 episodes of the Knight Rider that was made in 2008. Yeah, and it looks like they used a Ford Mustang as the body. Hmm. Yeah, it was only one season, 18 episodes, which isn't even a season. It's a little over half a season, because a half a season, which is usually what the initial, the mid-season replacements are 13 episodes. The A-Team movie, I didn't even see the A-Team movie, but it's, to me, it's just odd to, so many people try to do remakes and the remakes just never kind of come about right. If that makes any sense. Does that make sense? But yeah, there's been let's see, that was 2008. Let's look at this 2019 one real quick. Who was in that one? 2008, 2019. That was with Aaron Walker Matias. Is that the, no? Yeah, it looks like it never went anywhere. Oh, it was a double crossing during a hostage rescue. Kit takes. It was only 7 minutes long. The 2019 one. There was only one episode and it was 7 minutes long. So yeah, that don't count. The Matrix remake they did, oh my god, that was criminal. I didn't even know they made a Matrix remake. I know they were talking about it. I don't think I've ever seen it. Matrix 4 doesn't exist. Airwolf was a popular one. You know, the 80s stuff was very interesting indeed. Like even in my system, I have a lot of 80s shows and stuff. Um, Sorry, we're getting a little off the games thing, but that's okay. Let me see what's on the list here for 80s. 80s is actually is tomorrow, is Wednesdays. So let's see, we have Bosom Buddies, Twilight Zone, Newhart, Married with Children, Cheers, Amazing Stories, Star Trek Next Generation, Alf, MacGyver, Tales from the Crypt, Quantum Leap, Red Dwarf, Ulysses, which is a UK cartoon, Kids in the Hall, Family Ties, Fraggle Rock. Yeah, those kind of things. Hmm. I think I have all the Matrix movies, but I don't think I've watched all of them because I think 3 made me stop. Let me look. MAX. MAT, sorry. Mars attacks. Okay, they would be in this area. Okay, so I have the Matrix, the Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions. So those are the three that I have. I think the dates are wrong on those, but Matrix was 1999. Yeah, those are matrices that I have, but that one looks wrong. But I have three of them. Three. Ever watched Roseanne? Not very often. Question was, did I ever watch Roseanne? Not very often. Yeah. There was a time, yeah, I think that I watched, I think the first couple seasons, and then just never went back. Reminded me too much of home. Al Bundy still has some of the greatest one-liners. Absolutely. He did, but it's so just okay. So back to what we're doing. I got way off track. Sorry, guys. Welcome to the rabbit hole. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the mirror board apart and build an Excel sheet in this way, to where at the bottom of each Excel sheet, each section of our game will have a tab. Let's see if I can't get. I can. Okay, so like in this particular case, the tab for this one is the family crypt. So I'm going to pull everything apart from the mirror board, and we're going to have a forest tab. We're going to have a city tab. We're going to have all those kind of things. So, and then major buildings, we're going to have a tab for, and then we'll start putting things together there. And all the things that belong in that particular thing will go in that tab. So like, yes, the family crypt is here, but this, what we'll probably end up saying is this will change to the burial ground. And then the family crypt will be one of the things within the burial ground. So that's what, that's, I think, where we're going to probably head with that. But yeah, the documentation part is the most horrific part of any game design, because it sucks. Doing documentation is not. Now, it's funny though, because documentation and creative writing are completely different things. When you're creative writing, there's an enjoyment with creative writing. It's just like, yeah, okay, well, yeah, then we do this and do this. You know, that actually is a lot of fun. But though documentation is still creative writing, it's also documentation, and documentation sucks. Yeah. But for those big blocks of things, we have a basic way to pull stuff from the game, from our mirror board to that. Most everything else is pretty small, so we can just do a literally cut and paste back and forth between Miro and Excel, or just do a dump and then just do small sections of it. I get carried away with documentation and it ruins my scope. Sometimes, yes, because when you're writing documentation, there is part of your brain that is still saying we can do this better, in a better way, and it will be, while you're documenting what happened, your brain can still be working on what can make the thing we're making better. So yeah, I can completely see where it ruins your scope and focus, both. Okay, well, let's see, where are we at? Oh wow. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So I'm going to load up this, and then we'll pull it up. And I'll show you where I am on, sorry, this takes a minute to load. Basically, what I'm loading up Game Maker, and I'm showing you where I am with the, did I just turn my phone on? No, I didn't. Good. But with Toby 2. So what I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm doing the 51 51 episode tutorial and learning a lot, So we have let me turn this on, Game Maker. Okay, turn that off. Okay, so yeah, so here's Game Maker, and as I'm doing the tutorial, I'm actually using the assets that come with that tutorial. So it's going to put us a little bit ahead on a couple things. So, but like here's an example of oh, come on. Oh, I got to click on it. That's right. Nope, not that one. Okay. So here's an example of some of the code, and this is me writing the function script. Though in his halfway through his tutorial, Game Maker updated, I think, to 3.0, which gave us the ability to do functions in Game Maker which is good because now you can say, here's all the functions for my particular character, But yeah, so we're there, and I can't put it on the screen because as before, it will lock up OBS, and I'm not sure why, and nobody's been able to tell me why. But we do have a main character and all that stuff, and we do have an animation for him. So if we go to objects and go to our player, and this is our player, and he's a little cat person because that's what's in the tutorial. That's what came with it. But I'm learning how to do all this stuff. I'm not saying that the first way we did it, which is what the first tutorial showed, is the wrong way, but this is a more advanced way, and I like a lot of how he's doing it. So tonight I'll be working on this, so we'll get a little bit further. But eventually I will be building our mock-up in this version, and it will hopefully be to the correct scale now, because now when we walk into our town, it's massive, and it's not to scale of the character. So hopefully we'll get that corrected, and then we'll start building stuff out. But in the meantime, we're going to do some documentation, and because that's part of doing this. So if I load up Toby here, save changes, no. We're going to bring Toby in. Okay, so here's Toby, the one that we've been doing. That is my code name for him. And the new one will be called Toby2, and we'll be adding stuff. As a non-programmer, code looks like wizardry. And it does at first, but you know what? Because I've been 100% art side my whole life, but when I started learning coding, it opened up something in my head to where it's like, oh, wow, this is actually kind of cool. And like I was saying before, it's like knowing two languages. You think this way in one, and you think that way in another. And that is actually a pretty cool, interesting thing for me. So I just literally took, in fact, it's probably still online, is I found you can find anything on YouTube, but I found a crash course in Python programming in YouTube and just did the course. And that's how I learned Python to start with. And then I just started learning more things about it. Like I even there was a course on Codemy, I think it's Codemy, where he shows how, he walks you through in everything, how to write a blog website. So I'm like, oh, cool. I want to learn how to learn how to write a website. So I went and did that as well. And it's all Python, but it was pretty cool. It was fun. I'm going to take this moment for another public service announcement. Please turn off your auto updates for your game engine. It may lead to failure of your code to compile, and in some cases, your entire build might not run correctly, leading to you having to start from scratch. Updating mid-project is not working. Oh yeah, you never update software mid-project. You wait till you're done. Yeah, it's just you're learning a different language. It is a digital language, but it is language. Yeah, because I remember when like Fortran was a big thing, and all those, all the early ones where it's just like, okay, anybody can code. Fortran sucked. They wanted me to learn it, I couldn't, didn't. Okay, so here we are in our current build. Let's pull out here a little bit. But if you look, what I'm hoping to fix is scale. So the scale is just all off. Every one of our rooms is just a little bit different in the thing. This is just massive. Looking at how the structure of things are. Another thing is just all of this, because like we have had to put everything has to have like all of these trees, all that stuff. There's better ways to do that. Because what I was doing was I was making them all objects, and that just, to me, that's bad memory usage. But if we look even on our collision table, look at all these wall pieces. What he shows in the demo that the tutorial I'm doing now is we can make a separate layer and make a one piece tile set and assign that to walls. So we're not putting all these walls in. All we're doing is drawing a tile set with the walls in. So it seems to me like code wise, that's going to save us a lot of memory. Coding is basically solving logical puzzles all the time. Yes. That's exactly what you're doing. You're solving logic puzzles. If you do this, this happens. Which also, if you want to make games and stuff like that, can help you structure your conversations with different NPCs as well. So you'd be solving those, setting those up like logic puzzles. That reminds me, I did a little JavaScript in college. And one time I had to follow a C++ tutorial for the post-processing volume in Unreal. I barely understood the code itself, but I recognized the syntax because I did. Yeah, the more it's like I said in the beginning about 3D programs, is you learn one. If you learn any 3D program, whether in my particular case, my first 3D program was Sculpt 4D on the Amiga, then Digital Arts was the next one, which was the one that I used when I worked in television. Those are, once you learn one, it's real easy to go to another one, look at how it has it all set up, and then reformat what you're doing to that new program. It's just so much easier because you have the base language set. Programming is the exact same way. I used to do a lot of stuff in BASIC when I had my Commodore 64 years ago, just like writing stupid things in BASIC, or tying up the phone for hours while I downloaded some basic code to a cassette tape using Quantum Link. So silly. Looking back on it now, it's very silly. But learning that, then learning the scripting system for Lost Vikings, because I did for the Sega version of Lost Vikings, where we did 4 new levels. I did the scripting for it based on the Silicon Synapse Blizzard scripting system that was written, I believe, by Pat Wyatt or Mike Morheim. I forget which one. Then I didn't do any program for a long time. I just kept to art and stuff like that. But I was doing a lot of editing, so I was needed to learn how to write editing tools for the programs I was using for editing, and that turned out to be a lot of fun. But it was just like little like hit this button so it'll do this, just to make my life faster. Oh, awesome. See, that's great. Secretary Ware taught herself 3 programming languages. That's awesome. And also because and I wish I actually had it. I don't think I have it. Let me look here. Let me see if I put this in. I'm opening up After Effects here for a minute because I talked about a program that I wrote for After Effects a few years back. Actually, I think it was when I was at 6 Foot. And I don't know if I copied the script File scripts. Run script. Is it even in here? I may not have put it in here. This is what we're going to check real quick. But I wrote a script that would take a background image, a foreground image, and a text file, and it would build all the banners needed for that game in After Effects, so that you can just go and adjust them and then output them, because we were making so many banners at that time that we needed something that would work. But I don't know if it's actually, I don't know if I actually put it on this computer. If it isn't on this computer, I will put it on here for tomorrow and make sure it still works, because it is several years old and I'm not sure if all the scripts in are still working. So let's see, we are looking for what is it doesn't give me an extension. Adobe Commons plugins 7.0. Nope, that's not in there. So we go with After Effects, supports, scripts. So is it in here? I think I called it banner something, or no, it's not in here. So tomorrow I will find it. Tonight I will find it, make sure it works, and then I'll show you what even an artist can do with a really good scripting system. And I'll also show you something that I put together when COVID first happened. We had everybody was at home, nobody was in the office, but we wanted to have a not a Christmas party, but our team get together for the holidays. And so we also wanted to give gifts out and things like that. So do a white lion type gift, a white elephant type gift thing. So I put together something in Photoshop, and I'll find that file as well and show you the code that I wrote for that, so that you could do a picking the presents under the tree type thing in a non face-to-face environment. That one was a lot of fun, because we were locked up, and it was good to do something. I love the old Commodore 64. The Commodore 64, I still have it mine. It is in storage in California, which is far away from me at this moment by many time zones. But yeah, I love my Commodore 64. So yeah, so I'll bring those in. I'll keep saying bring those in like I'm at work. That's funny. That's a psychological thing going on there. Yeah. But I'm having fun. This is a fun thing. And I think we got away from game dev and stuff like that, but we'll keep it in here, because that's what we're going to do. Your secretary is insane. That's so cool. Yeah. I think that's awesome. The secretary learning for programming language. That's amazing. Because it's funny, because you sit around and you're like, God, I really wish I could do this. Like the thing for my Plex system is, let me see if I can show you this. Because I wrote two pieces of code in Python. And what they do is, let me get a window here. Use this one. We'll get away from that. We're going to go to Plex. Well, let me see if I can change this window over here so you guys can see what the hell I'm talking about. Oh, let's change this to Firefox Plex. Okay, so here, let's go into Plex, not guest. No, not guest. We went. That is me being stupid. Let's go back. Account sign in. No. We're in the wrong place. We just want Plex. That is not the right. Yeah, this is me just making a mess of things. We want this one. Thank you. Back to here again. So I wrote this program because I have a lot of TV shows. Like I have 317 TV shows in my TV section for Plex, and these are complete shows. And I do have for those of you that are legally inclined, I do have every one of the DVDs for every one of these, and I did capture them all in myself, and they're only on here, and I don't rent them or share them or spend any money. Only family watches them. So that's all good. So, but I have all these TV shows, and I thought to myself, okay, I want to be able to watch these shows, but I don't want to binge them. I'm going to binge this TV show kind of person. I just can't do it. So what I do is I have a program that goes in and looks at all my TV shows. And it says, okay, how many episodes from each one are still there? So you're like, here, Banachek is checked off, which means there's no episodes left. I've watched them all. You know, Batman, the animated series, still has 81 episodes. Battlestar Galactica, the original, still has 4. Barney Miller has 155, et cetera, et cetera. So then I thought to myself, it's like, okay, I don't want to binge. I kind of like the old TV format where you see a TV show once a week. So what I did was I said, okay, number one, go in and find all the episodes that are still valid. And that's what the first program does. The second program does this, is it creates playlists. So if you can see this, I don't know, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger maybe. So if you look here, this says Monday is the 1960s. So when it's looking at shows, it looks at what year that show is in. So I can now go in here and say, okay, what is my playlist for the 1960s? So for the 60s, it's for this week, because I run this once a week so that I have it. I watch The Munsters, then Time Tunnel, Twilight Zone, Get Smart, F Troop, Batman, the original TV series, Dark Shadows, which was one of my favorites when I was a kid. You know, even though later on I found out it was a soap opera and I didn't know that. It was just vampires and werewolves and stuff, so I liked it. My favorite Martian. So it creates this playlist for me every week. Every Sunday, it creates a new playlist. And it randomly places the things, but it takes, for Monday, it's only movies from, or TV shows from the 60s. And then it does the same thing for the 70s. So all this kind of cool stuff. So it's all like Kolchak, The Night Stalker, which I thought was a great show when I was a kid. But you know, so then it's like Tuesdays are the 70s, Wednesdays are the 80s, 90s for Thursdays, Fridays are the 2000s, Saturdays are 2010s, and then Sunday is usually 2010 and above. But I've watched all the shows, all the episodes of shows that are in that time frame. So right now I did have, as you can see, I did build a Saturday morning cartoon one for a friend of mine who, there's like 5 people that use my Plex, and but it's tunes. So we do tunes, and then we do movie lists and holiday stuff, and then Harry Potter, of course, because some of the kids watch the Harry Potter stuff. They like it. And then just other movie lists, which are most of the movies on these movie lists are movies that I've told you guys to watch. So, which are what? And then must-watch movies and stuff like that. But the programs build these 7 sorted files, these 7 sorted playlists, and then I just turn them on. That's what I watch. That's what I have running in the background when I'm doing things and stuff like that, because all of them are shows I've seen before, but, you know, it's been, in some cases, 50 years since they were on TV, in case of like the stuff on Mondays and stuff like that. But we do have Danger Man, but I also have The Prisoner in the 70s, so that's actually kind of cool, because Danger Man was a prelude to The Prisoner. But, yeah. So that's how we do this. Old Top Gun movie this weekend. It never gets old. Huh? Then why'd you call it old? What's my favorite genre of movie? I don't really have one. If I did, it would be more along the macabre and weird things that just like don't make sense to some people. I think that if we look back to, say, Death Takes a Holiday with Fred March, 1934, I believe it was. Let's go to D's. Boop, 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 boop. I can expand this back down so we get a little bit more. Go back to D. Okay. Where are you at, Mr. March? Death Note. Death Comment. Death. Down here. Death on the Nile. Death Race. Death Takes a Holiday. This one. 1934. Okay, so let's open this up. Oh, we just do this. Okay. So this kind of movie where it's I think this would fall amongst one of my favorite. In fact, this is my favorite movie of all time. Not the remake, because there is a remake that we've talked about before with Brad Pitt called Meet Joe Black. Not the same movie. But if you do watch Meet Joe Black, the best part of it is Brad Pitt pinball. If you watch the movie, you'll understand exactly what I mean. Yeah, but yeah, so this is Frederick March. But these are the kind of movies I like. There's a lot of the old ones that I really, really like Sergeant York and things like that. I like movies where the good guy eventually wins, because in life that usually doesn't happen. There is a new Top Gun. Oh yeah, I think they're remaking it, aren't they? Especially Time Tunnel. Yeah, I watched Time Tunnel last night, as well as Land of the Giants. Get Smart, Dark Shadows, 60s Batman. Yeah, all really fun. Yeah. I own half of these shows because of my mom. Awesome. Yeah. The playlist theory was just really fun to me because I can watch these things for days. Rowan Martin's Laughing. That's another one. I'm still trying to find, and if anybody knows anything, if it even exists, I'm still trying to find all the episodes for the Smothers Brothers. I have not been able to find them, and that one's getting to me. But yeah, but here's Man from U.N.C.L.E., which I watched last night, and then Magilla Gorilla, which is an old cartoon, things like that. But yeah, Time Tunnel, which was a prelude to Stargate. I also watched a new Top Gun Maverick, and I like it, so give it a try. Yeah, I have them. I have both of them. I just haven't watched the second one yet. Someone gifted me a DVD of the other one. Okay, let's get back to what we're supposed to be doing. Let's close that. Okay, look, we're doing gameplay. We're doing game development. Don't tell anyone, it's a secret. Window's gonna get bigger. Shh. I thought it was the movie with Henry Cavill, the Man from U.N.C.L.E. No, the TV series. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was originally a TV series way back, and it was black and white. And if you watch NCIS, you remember Ducky from NCIS? He was one of the spies in the original Man from U.N.C.L.E. So if we go back to, now so you can see what you've done. See what you've done. So I'll show you Ducky very, very young, because Ducky became originally famous for this show. Where'd it go? Man from U.N.C.L.E., where are you? I could have swore. And are we in the 60s? Yes, we are. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. McHale's Navy, Hogan's Heroes, Land of the Giants. It should be right here. Okay. So this is this guy over here. That's Ducky from Man from U.N.C.L.E. or from NCIS. He was also in a short-lived series in the 70s called The Invisible Man. But he just died last year, I think. But yeah, he if we go to IMDb, you'll recognize him more looking like this now than when he was so this was him in God, man from oh, don't show me that. I want that. I want photos. He's in a very famous Outer Limits as well. So if we go to here, we find this Outer Limits. So this was him in The Great Escape. Great movie, really, really good movie. If you haven't seen it, there's a, spared no expense. That's that guy, Mr. Attenborough. But in the Twilight Zone, he was, there he is in The Invisible Man. The things he's famous for is playing Ducky on NCIS. This is him down here. But I'm surprised they don't have a picture of his, here he is, his Ducky still. Yeah, he was a really, really good actor, around for a very, very long time. They always have the picture, but they don't have it anymore because of NCIS, I don't think. Where is it? Oh yeah, he's been around for decades. But they took the picture out. Oh no, there it is. Here, let's pull that. Really? You're going to be that small? See, so this was the Outer Limits he did that was a real big deal. People really liked it because he became a big brain dude. Silly, but yeah. Let's get back to work. Oh, okay. Oh, we can't do that. We're in ads. We're in ads. Let's turn that off because we're not making an ad for that. Wasn't that Ilian Karyakin? Yes, it is. From Man from U.N.C.L.E. That is exactly who it is. He was also Ducky on NCIS. The forensic examiner. But unfortunately, he died, I think, last year. He was one of my favorite actors. I really liked him. He was really good. Oh, he died in 2023. He was 90. Wow. That's pretty good. Yes, he was the cadaver guy in CIS. CSI. NCIS. Not CS. Not CSI. NCIS. Yeah. That is him. But he was originally in Man from U.N.C.L.E., the old black and white TV series, way back in the 60s. So we are in ads. And I've wasted a lot of times because I want to actually do the game dev part to show you guys, okay, let's start building. And that's what we're going to do. I just have a lot of prep to do for it. And I have to clean up a lot of the stuff that we've done because it's, like I said, that was all throwing stuff at the wall stuff. And we threw it at the wall. A lot of it stuck. Now we have to go back and do all the documentation for it. Wonky Circle, thank you very much for the sub. Is that what it said? Just subbed. Yes, thank you. Oh, subbed for a 3 month in advance. Oh, awesome. That's very cool. Thank you, Wonky Circle. There's a song in there somewhere. Wonky Circle. Welcome to Wonky Circle. No, I need to stop. Okay, I'm getting a little bit okay. So yeah, so we're going to fix the skin and all this using the new setup. As soon as I start getting the basic, I'm not going to wait till I get through all of the tutorial before we start using it on the stream. I just need to get to the point where we can start building rooms and levels and stuff like that, and then I'll start bringing it in. We'll start building. In the meantime, and I hope you guys don't mind this, but some of the paperwork part I'm going to take offline simply because I would rather be talking about when we're building stuff than talking about the paperwork. What I will do, though, is at the beginning of this section, I'll review the paperwork and gripe and complain about how terrible it is to do paperwork, but we will do it. And there will be some paperwork that I will do while we're moving forward with this. But right now, I am not paperwork friendly, and I find that like in the last hour or so, I have been thinking up any reason to talk about anything except for doing the documentation for the stuff we're working on, which 100% is my is what I hate the most part. The part I hate most, but it's also important because so we get all of the paperwork done, right? We get all of our spreadsheets done. We get everything for the game done. And then we start developing it. And then I have a heart attack and die. Someone else can come by and get that paperwork and finish the game. I know that sounds horrific, but it's the way you have to think about it. It's just like Blizzard. I'll use Blizzard as an example. Every one of us that was there that created the original worlds that people are still playing today are gone. There's a whole, except for Metzen, there's a whole new generation of people that have taken that world and are continuing on with it and are continuing to build into it and make things. And that's awesome. So we may disappear and go away or die off or whatever but our world will continue in some form or another until people just get tired of it and turn it off. Don't say things like that. Nah, why? Yeah. They might finish the game, but it won't have your execution. No, it won't. Or new ideas you come up with you're absolutely right. It will not have any of that. However, the world will persist. Someone will find value in it somewhere. Someone will play it somewhere. And don't worry, I'm not like, oh my God, I'm dying, blah, 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 blah. No. I'm going to hang out until I cannot hang out no more. But if I'm working on something, say we get this and we get it finished and it goes on Steam and people play it, yay, make a little bit of money off it. Great. But, and then we start another one and then we do the next one and blah, blah, blah. We make a few of them. That's all great. But eventually, people in your company, people that are working on it, creative people that you work with are going to leave. They're going to get fired. They're going to get stolen away by other companies, or they're just going to die. Then you have to be able to understand what they were working on, how they were working on, how they did what they did, so that you can continue their work. Because that's what you're doing. Is you're continuing their work, even though it becomes yours, you're still continuing theirs. Imagine a game like Outer Winds, executed poorly. It might have a cool mechanic or twist, but it wouldn't have the rapid fan base it has. You never know that. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because there's things that I wish that Thor and Loki would have carried on with, but they went their own paths, and that's great, And who knows? Maybe if we start doing this thing and we put it together, and I don't have the opportunity to finish for whatever reason, maybe Thor can pick it up and run with it. Who knows? Yeah. But there will be a stipulation that he has to give half to Loki, because that's just the way it works. Time moves on and waits for no man. That is no one. But that's what makes life beautiful. Does it? Yeah, it's funny because at the last job I had in Cambridge, my job was to make myself obsolete. And I did a really, really good job at it. And what I mean by that is to help advance the people in the team to the positions that they should be in to run the department. And then to work it out to where they are trained enough or they have enough knowledge, or that they, which sometimes, most of the time, and in this particular case, all of them already had all the knowledge. They just need to be in the right positions to do it, is to make myself obsolete. And that's what my goal was when I was at Jagex. Was I said when I came in, I go, look, anything I do here is not going to change. It's not going to change my effect or my stance in the game industry. However, if I do my job right, it will affect yours. And that's the way I looked at that job the whole time. It wasn't about, okay, how can I make myself look better and make it look like, oh, I'm the end all be all happiest thing that you ever hired and blah, 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 blah. Because I'm like, no, my job is to make sure that the right people are in place for that department to survive without me, and possibly survive without the position I'm in even being needed. And that's kind of where we ended up. Is by the time I was done and everybody was in the right place, and Matt and Nikki were advanced to the positions, the higher positions they should have been in, and the team was congealed and they had a good rhythm about them. It took about 4 years to get a lot of things moved out of the way. Some of them the company did, but internally we did. And I told them, I go, when you don't need me anymore, I will leave. And we got to the point to where they didn't need me anymore, and I left. Now, some of them took that as that I abandoned them, and no, I didn't. I did what I promised I would do. I went in. I made their lives better. I helped them structure their department better. I got rid of obstacles that were in the way and things that nobody else would do, because they were like, oh, no, we can't touch that. No, you can. And then I was able to help them get enough power and enough standing that I wasn't needed anymore. And that's a good thing. So I know how, because I know how to hand off departments. I've had departments taken away from me. So every department I've ever created was taken away from me at some point because they exceeded the expectations of someone above me. And that was, I used to just hate it, absolutely hate it. Why are you taking another department away from me? And then I realized that those departments going somewhere else was actually a success for me. Don't worry. Emotionally, it didn't feel this way. Emotionally, it felt like, you're taking my department away from me. What the fuck? Because there were a couple of times it was like, we're going to take your department, we're going to move it over there. Go find something else to do. And then I'd go find something else to do, and we'd make some cool stuff. Does that make you like a game dev Nanny McPhee? I don't know. No, because I don't get prettier as we go on. There's no way. Okay, let's go. We're going to kill that. No, not me. Don't kill me. Keep me. Take that down. We're going to put the logo up for a second so that we can close out this section, because we got way off track, and I'll even write that in the thing. When you're first beginning in any team, you're there for you and to show what you can do. And I completely 100% like that. But when you get up to where I'm at, where you've gone in and out of teams a lot and helped build some really cool, successful teams, your job is to go in and say, okay, what's holding these people back? And then going, okay, let's fix it. And sometimes you go into these teams and they, you walk into them and they go, okay, there's nothing wrong. I go, yeah, but that guy over there is bleeding to death in his chair. Oh, but that's okay. He's been doing that for months. No, it's not okay. I guarantee you, every single person in every single team and every single company on this planet, and or just hanging out, every single person knows who the weakest link is on that team. And the majority of them ignore it. Stop it. Because one person holding a team back holds the whole team back, not just themselves. And identifying that quickly and moving that out of the way Saves a lot of things. Number one, it shows that you as a boss are willing to make the changes needed to improve stuff. Number two, it saves all the backroom bars talk about how awful that person is and why do they still have their job. You know, managers have to stand up and do these things. You know, same thing in your life. Yeah, I think that Silver Shadow puts it as correctly as, if there's people that are screwing up your life, why are they still in your life? But I guarantee you, any group you go into that has been together for a while, they know who the weakest link is on that team. I'm sorry to use that particular phrase, but they know who the one is that is getting by, or is just doing the minimum, or is stealing other people's ideas and turning them in as their own. They know all that stuff. And they're waiting for you as a manager to fix it. And if you don't, they stop hating the person that's mucking about. They start hating you as a manager for not doing something about it, and they lose respect for you. And sometimes, yes, sometimes there are times when you absolutely have to let someone do that kind of bullshit for a while in a business environment, especially if they're the boss's son or something like that. But you also can go to the boss and say, look, this ain't working. You know, can you move him somewhere else? Which is a terrible thing to do, but sometimes you have to if it's a relative. If it's not a relative, you're actually saving the company, yourself, and that person a lot of pain and suffering by saying, you know what, why don't you move on? Well, it's just like hiring. Hiring's the same way. Is what I tell my employees when they have to hire someone. I say, hire someone better than you. And a lot of people get confused by that because they go, why would I hire something better from me? They'll replace me. I go, no. Because if you hire someone better than you, you are not going to have to hold their hand every frickin' day they work. You're not going to have to spend time training them. You're not going to have to spend time fixing their mistakes. You're not going to have to spend time doing any of that stuff. And you're going to create an environment where you have equals to discuss the things you need to get done. And that's going to work out better than if you have subordinates who just know how to push pixels around a screen. And they hit the ground running. Yes. They know that they don't have to wait for you to do the next thing. This misbehaving is tell their parents what they did. Really? Because in the US, if you tell the parents what their child did, the parents will tell you it's your fault. They'll hit the ground running. Yes. Yeah. And you don't have to babysit them. Babysitting employees sucks. On my current team, I reach out to my team members who are clearly struggling, help as best I can, but there is only so much you can do. Yeah. It actually hurts sometimes because I can't feel how hard the job is for them, and it makes me feel bad enough. Yeah. Because it is. I mean, is it that the job is actually hard for them? And there's two questions there. Is the job hard for them? What training do they need to make it easy for them? Do they even want to do that training? And then you have to think about, okay, or is it time to let them go? The good employees do, yes. But to say you can only come to me for I agree with you, Savvy Otter. But sometimes to say you can only come to me with solutions to an employee actually blocks them from being able to come up with solutions. It's better to have open conversations about problems and have the solutions come out organically than to say, go find me a solution. Yeah. But yeah, coming up with solutions is a great thing. Yeah. But Just don't make it mandatory, because sometimes they need conversation is needed and more input is needed and more knowledge is needed before a solution can even be found. Okay, let's go. We're running late. Yes, we are late. Okay, so let's stop this. And we're going to go back to Mies first. Oh, let's see. They can also come, okay. Oh no, they can come with problems, but the good ones come with solutions too. Yes. Must be an open forum. Yeah, I'm a big fan of open forums. As I said last week, eventually what we're going to do is probably use the voice chat in Discord to do some roundtables on stuff for the game, and then, but we're not there yet. We'll get there eventually as we start getting through some of the more advanced stuff, because right now we're still at the beginning. But we will get there. Let us go. A wizard is never late. Actually, they are. Sometimes a stream doesn't go as planned, but those can be some of the best experiences of individuals in the chat. Yes. I love when your eyes shines the light on wisdom upon. Well, let me do one last one then. And this is about live productions. So, because it triggered the sometimes streams don't go as planned. Because I used to do all of the live production for BlizzCon, for the main stage, opening ceremonies, all that stuff. And we would have everything planned out. There would be a huge spreadsheet with everything planned out, literally to the second. So, and we would go through and we would start, we would plan it, we would practice it, we would do all that stuff. And it would be hours where people would come in, and like the day before the opening of BlizzCon, we'd come in and we'd do a complete run through of the opening ceremonies, closing ceremonies, all that stuff. And we would plan it out perfectly. But on the day of the show, there would always be one or two things that just either didn't happen, couldn't happen, that were just equipment backfires, equipment failures, all things happen that don't get on the screen or don't get in front of the audience. And all of us in the back used to just panic over it because it's like, oh my God, this needed to happen, blah, 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 blah. But then I realized one day, I think it was the second BlizzCon or the third BlizzCon, is it's okay that those things didn't happen, because the audience didn't see those mistakes. They didn't know that those things were supposed to happen. Therefore, they didn't miss them. Only those of us that planned the thing missed them. And only those of us that planned it expected it to happen, and it didn't happen. Not the audience. The audience actually saw what they saw. They didn't see the mistake because it wasn't there. They didn't see any complaints. All they saw was we're having a great time, and we were experiencing great things. You know, they didn't see like, oh my God, that particular screen didn't show the right graphic or stuff like that. But in the back room, we're panicking over it. You know, so it's the same thing here. The only difference here is I don't have people to cut to when I'm making mistakes, which is hilarious. So just because you've planned something some way doesn't mean that's the way it's going to turn out. But that's okay, because your audience doesn't know that that's the way it was supposed to, that was even supposed to be there. Do you have a Discord link? Yes, if you go to the About in Twitch, the Discord link is there. I do not see it. Laugh out loud. That has happened so many times with me. Wait. Yeah, you have to click on About and scroll down, and it's right below the About YourJoy. There's a YourJoy YouTube and a YourJoy Discord link. Both are there. They should still both work. Speaking of Discord, is the general voice channel locked? Not that I'm aware of. I think I opened it up. I turned it on last, I think Thursday or Friday, because I didn't know that you guys, that people wanted to use it. I'm pretty sure it is on. Let me look. I know that some people tested it and it worked. So you may need to be a yearling and or you may need to be either a green or a yellow to use it. But so let me know and I'll assign you the role you need if you're not God, what is it called? Whatever. Yeah. If you're not yellow or green, you may not be able to use it. Okay. But I don't see many people on there these days that aren't yellow or green. Let's see, general chat. No. No, it looks like everybody I see is that, but yeah. Okay, let's okay. Ads are running. I'm gonna need some type of permission. Sub makes sense. Yeah, if you're a sub, you're green. If you're not a sub, I can make you a yearling. Because to be a sub, you have to be interlinked between. You have to have an interlink between Discord and Twitch, and then it automatically makes you a sub, which makes you green. If you're not, then what I usually do is I go in and if I see you, I can make you a yearling, which is the yellow ones. And they can, because the sub one won't let me put anybody that isn't linked into it. As are running, let's let those run through, and then we will exit this section, which became extremely long. And we will go to our next thing in 54 seconds. That's 54 seconds. Thank you all for hanging out today. I do appreciate it. Let me make sure that our spreadsheet for the next thing is open. It is not. There it is. That is the one that we need. Make sure I didn't screw that up and open two of them. Let's try not to open two of them. I did not open two of them, so that's good. So when we go to the page, it should be correct. Studio. Gradeboard. Yep, it is correct. Okay. Out of studio. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to me. Hello, everybody. We have left that should be a finished section.